I let this linger a little too long. I lost 25 pounds, guys. That is a lot of weight. I could not talk for 2 weeks. In 1 month, no videos. Here's why. Hello, my name's Danielle Hollenbach. If you've been watching some of my other videos, you know I do mom content on here, fashion, and really anything lifestyle to my life. And I like to get out at least 1 video a week. You probably noticed that too. Well, for the last month, maybe even 5 weeks now, I have not had any videos. And it is because I have been not feeling very well. I have been going through something that I've never done in my life. Something that has been very unexpected. Never ever thought I would go through any sort of health issue like this, but here we go. We're just gonna jump right into it. I'm gonna also timestamp everything here, guys, so if you don't want to have to watch this whole video, you can see different parts that maybe interest you more. So look along the timeline so you actually can see, you know, which one we're interested in about hearing. So let's go back. Starting on the, let me get a calendar. First week of June. Starting on June 7th. So I know this because I went out of town right after these things all started. Starting on June 7th, I woke up, ran with the kids in the stroller, and basically that entire run felt like I had to poop. I'm sorry, this is going to be a very TMI video. I've been having a lot of health issues and most of them are very TMI. So woke up, did this run, thought, okay, whatever, digestion's not quite right. I just had a baby 3 months ago, probably why. So, well, got home, used the bathroom, whatever, thought I was okay. All day, didn't feel very great. Then that went on until I went out of town on Sunday of that week. So June 7th is where like the starting point is, where I pinpointed, okay, this is where all these symptoms started. On the airplane flight, I had a lot of delays between my layovers, and even like my first plane flight was delayed. Had stomach problems that whole time. Whole time I was on the trip, I was okay. Drank a little bit of alcohol because it was a work trip. You know, I was having fun with some of my friends that I don't really get to see unless we're at these events. And I felt okay. But I definitely had some alcohol itching and hives break me out. And I was like, okay, this is a little normal ever since I had my second baby. I do get hives sometimes when I drink, whatever. Got home, thought I was fine, went, did whole days with the kids, you know, try to enjoy them since I was out of town. Got work done. It was the last month of the quarter, so we had a lot to catch up on for work just to make sure we hit our goals. So I was working, not sleeping much. I don't know if you guys know this, but I am a full-time chief marketing officer for a finance company. We also have a couple businesses that my husband and I run. We do a marketing company, and we also have a real estate business, and we are investors in a few other things. So it can get kind of chaotic with just life and all those things that are going on. And then of course we have our YouTube channel here, which we actually had just started at the beginning of June. Eric started a diet, and we started documenting that for him because I wanted to make a whole YouTube series about his weight loss journey on here, which will still be going out. It'll just be a little later than expected. I wanted to start in July, but that's okay. We're going to start this month still, but it's going to be towards the middle to end of July instead of the beginning of July. I was probably getting 4 to 5 hours of sleep a night, which was not good for me or my health. The baby was still waking up a couple times a night too, and I was feeding him. So it was just a little bit of a modge podge of a lot going on all at once. Well, rewinding, going back, got back from my trip, thought I was fine. That whole week, I just did not feel right. My stomach was off. I was getting all these cramps in my stomach. I was getting just not being able to eat. So when I ate, I had to use the bathroom immediately. Like, again, TMI, it was a lot. It couldn't even drink water. By the end of that week, by the time I drank water, I would have to use the bathroom as soon as it hit my stomach. I knew things were off, but I did remember from both of my previous pregnancies, I did have digestive issues. Going about probably between 3 to 4 months postpartum, I started having digestive problems, and I thought it was just the hormones rebalancing, you know, things going back in place. Well, I let this linger a little too long, let it linger past that weekend, did things as normal. I mean, I took the kids to the park, we were outside playing, whatever. Still having these cramps and pains, didn't think much of it. I was losing weight, and I was like, okay, that's fine. I'm more dehydrated since I can't drink as much. I'm using the bathroom all the time. It's normal, right? That's normal. Well, come Tuesday of that next week, so let me look at the calendar of what week we're in now. Tuesday of that Father's Day weekend. So, or the Father's Day was on Sunday and then it was Tuesday. I did not feel good at all. I was having so many cramps, could not focus. My eyes started to get pressure. I started to get pain in my left shoulder. and this left eye never has issues. Like I have iritis and I've had optic neurosis in my right eye. I actually only have 20/40 vision at all times in my right eye because it's never healed completely, which is a whole nother story, which actually relates to this. So I guess it's not a whole nother story. It's all related. But my left eye started getting all this pressure, and it still has pressure. You probably can tell in this video, I actually do not have clear vision right now. Like, I don't know if I'm in focus. I hope I am. But I do not have clear vision right now because both my eyes are not focusing, and there's that pressure still building behind them. But my eyes are red. So very, very, very red. So that Tuesday, I started to have pain. Eric went on the keto diet that's starting that week. So I was like, oh, I can eat a little bit of keto, whatever. No, that made my stomach so much worse. I had to poop even more. I had to evacuate everything even more. It was not good. It was not good at all. So Wednesday, I called my doctor. She actually is moved on July 30th to a different position. So I was like, okay, I'll call her. I know she's not going to be here, but I'll see what she says. She said, I don't want you to come in. I want to go to the emergency room because I think you're having something more than what I can treat you with. And then I said, can you get me a gastroenterologist appointment? And she said, sure, I'll refer you to a gastroenterologist. So she did a referral on, I think it was Thursday. By the time Saturday night hit, my shoulder was in so much pain. I could not breathe. My lungs were like collapsing in. I had all this mucus in my throat. I still could not see through my eye because there was so much pressure behind the eye. And of course, still having my stomach issues too. The stomach issues actually became secondary between all the stuff that was going on up here because this was so painful, and this still is what's hurting me more than my stomach right now. But that all happened. Sunday morning, I woke up at 4:30 to feed the baby, and I said, Eric, we could go to the hospital. Just take me to the hospital. You know, let's just see what they say. So he loaded up all the kids in the car with me, dropped me off at the hospital. I didn't think I was going to get admitted. Well, I got there. They did a bunch of CT scans on my head, my shoulder, my stomach, and they said, wow, you have a severely swollen colon. And I said, what does that mean? Like, what do you have to do? And they said, well, we got to go to the hospital. We got to put some antibiotics in you. We think you're infected, like you have an infection in your colon. And right away in my head, I thought, this isn't an infection. This is related to an autoimmune disorder because I knew I have an autoimmune disease. I just have never been diagnosed with what it is. All the eye problems that I've had since 2018 are related to some sort of autoimmune problem that I've had. And I had told my eye doctor before, whenever this eye issue starts in my right eye, I usually have stomach issues too. So I've asked them if that's related, and they were like, oh no, it's probably just coincidental. But it's happened every time I've got an optic neurosis. So I knew something was up. So got admitted to the hospital. I told them all this, and they said, oh, well, let's just do the infection route. We'll make sure that you get all your antibiotics, blah, 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 blah. And then they said, we don't want to run too many tests because we don't think insurance is going to cover it all, since this emergency visit is technically just for your swollen colon, so they're just going to want to do antibiotics. So I had to call the referral that my doctor gave me, and luckily they got me in right away the day I got out of the hospital. So I was in the hospital Sunday and Monday. Tuesday morning, got into the gastroenterologist, and she said, the symptoms you are having, you have to have an emergency colonoscopy. Can you have one tomorrow? And I was like, okay, tomorrow? Like, yeah, sure, I can make that happen pretty quick. And I already could not eat or drink, or I already could not eat solid foods because my stomach was so messed up. And oh my gosh, forgot the worst part. In the hospital, I started developing sores all in my mouth and in my throat. So I could not eat. I had ulcers all throughout my throat. And these went on for 2 weeks. This was actually the worst part of this flare-up, is I could not eat. And I'll get more into that after the colonoscopy. But yeah, I had to get a colonoscopy and an endoscopy, where they put a camera down your throat to check out your stomach to make sure nothing was wrong with my stomach. So emergency colonoscopy, they give me this kit. They said, bring this home, you know, do the drinks. If you guys have had a colonoscopy before, know the process. It's not very nice. It's pretty painful. Luckily, like I said, I was already on liquid, so I was pretty used to not eating or drinking much. So the worst part was the drinks. The first drink went down okay. I actually have a video of me doing it. I'm going to do a little colonoscopy video because it was weird to prep for colonoscopy, especially in this emergency way. So went home, followed the liquids, did all that, got my colonoscopy the next day. I actually threw up the second drink because I was so empty. But I did like the Miralax. They have like different things. So if you throw it up, you have to take Miralax, whatever. I already knew I didn't have much in my system since I hadn't eaten solid food already at that point for 3 days. So I knew I was probably pretty cleared out. Did my colonoscopy. and the preliminary results said you have severe swelling in your colon, you have severe ulcers in your colon and in your stomach and in your throat and in your mouth. And I was like, yes, I know all this, but what does it mean? And my doctor said, well, I can't do anything until the biopsies are there for like what you actually have, but I think you have Crohn's or ulcerative colitis, both autoimmune disorders that affect your gut. I already kind of was knowing that's what I was going to be diagnosed with, especially with all the ulcers that were forming all over my body, you know, the insides of my body. So I went home and suffered, because the worst part of this whole story, guys, this whole flare-up that I had, is all of the ulcers in my throat. I had 2 full weeks that I could not eat food. I am not even joking. I could not eat any food at all. Like, I could not have any food go down my throat that had any sort of texture to it, because these ulcers hurt so bad. When I swallowed, I had an ulcer right at where the swallowing point is, and I still kind of have it. It's healed enough that I can eat now, but it is painful as hell. Like, I don't want anyone to ever have to go through this, because this was ridiculously painful. And the worst part about it all is I called my doctor multiple times to try to give me something to numb my throat. They would not give me anything. They gave me some medications for ulcers, which they take 6 weeks to like fully heal the ulcers, so that didn't really do much good. You know, very slow process. I couldn't take any antibiotics because I still was feeding, which I'll get into that. I'm still breastfeeding now, but that's been hard. When I got released from the hospital, they said I could have oxycodone. They gave me some oxycodone. But then I looked it up and I was like, well, I can't breastfeed for like 72 hours even after taking this. So I'm not going to do that, because I can't lose my milk supply. My baby's not even 4 months old. My baby had just basically turned 3 months at this point. So I had not taken any pain medicine. So these ulcers in my throat were just there. I did get some canker sore numbing stuff that I had to put on a spoon and then rub on the back of my throat, just so I could eat enough food in, you know, the 5 minutes that it actually was numb to have calories. I probably lived off of 400 to 500 calories for 2 weeks, which is not good. I lost 25 pounds, guys. That is a lot of weight. I'm actually thinner now than I was pre-pregnancy. Now, caveat to this, I haven't been running. Tomorrow will mark 3 weeks without running. Tomorrow I am going to start running again. I don't know what it's going to be like, what it's going to look like, but we'll see. My heart rate's been elevated ever since I had this inflammation. I mean, 100 beats per minute is kind of like my average. Now, finally, the last couple of days, it's went down. Now that the sores in my throat have started to heal, and a little bit of the pain is away in my stomach, but it has been terrible. I mean, it has been absolutely terrible. I've never went through something this bad, and I don't want to do it again. So I do have steps that I'm going to take to relieve this and hopefully never have a flare-up like this again. So I will go through those steps in a second. But yeah, couldn't take pain medicine. I do want to jump in now to breastfeeding, because it is a big part of being a mom and having something like this happen. In the hospital, I couldn't breastfeed because obviously I was on painkillers, so I had to pump and dump and pump and dump and pump and dump. At that point, my milk supply wasn't too low because I only went about 4 or 5 days with not proper nutrition. By the time of today, I probably went 2.5 weeks without proper nutrition, and my milk supply is very low. I still can feed on demand. When I, you know, push on the breast, I still get a good amount of milk out. I can't pump. So a lot of my milk supply, I've been having Eric supplement with things that I've saved, but I only have like 50 bags left that I have pumped, which is not bad, but I still have work trips and stuff that I have to do before the baby's going to be 1 year old, so I got to rebuild my milk supply. That's my number one thing. Now that I can start to eat solid foods again, for the baby, that's the number one thing, and then also for me, healing my body. I actually didn't have a voice for 2 weeks either, guys. That's another thing I didn't even bring up. These ulcers in my mouth made me not be able to talk. I could not talk for 2 weeks, so think about being a mom, having children, trying to catch them, trying to talk to them, trying to yell at them when they're doing something bad, and not having a voice. It's been a lot on Eric. He is a godsend. My husband is the best husband in the world. He has been so kind and generous and caring throughout all of this, as always. That is just him. And he's been taking care of the kids like a champ. I mean, he's awesome. I'm going on the AIP diet. So the AIP diet is the autoimmune protocol diet. It's supposed to get inflammation out of your body. So you can't eat things like nightshade vegetables. You can't eat anything processed, no artificial sugars, no real sugars, only sugars from fruits. And even those have to be moderately handled. I'm kind of being a little lenient on the fruit because I do love fruit. I know it does heal my body. Whenever I eat a lot of fruit, it does feel good. So I'm getting myself a little bit of leniency on the fruit end, but still, trying to keep away from anything else that's sugary. Basically what you eat is lots of meat, lots of vegetables, and then lots of berries. That's kind of like the basis of the diet. All you can drink really is water. You can have sparkling water as long as it's not artificially flavored. And you can have teas, but no caffeine. Staying away from caffeine's big. I do think one thing that caused my gut issues in the first place were, first, having children takes a toll on your body. I've had 3 kids in 4 years. That's a lot. That's a lot on my body. But I do think before that, I drank a lot of Diet Pop, and a lot of Diet Pop is a lot of caffeine and a lot of artificial sugars that are not good for the gut. It kills a lot of good gut bacteria that you need. I also think my sugar addiction, I have been addicted to sugar since I was a kid. Not good for me, not good for my gut. And then also just greasy foods, going out to eat. My husband and I enjoy a nice dinner, which I still am going to enjoy nice dinners. I'm just going to be more careful about what I choose when I go out to those dinners. But for the next few months here, I'm eating basically at home because AIP is easiest to do at home, since you have to monitor what oils go into your foods, what spices go into your foods. And you know what? I'm good with it because after not being able to eat for basically, a month, eat real food, I just want good food. I want good nutritious food to nurture my body because I need it. I really need it right now. And yeah, I want to take you guys along on the journey of this all because I know being a mom, it is hard to follow a strict diet, but I know I can do it. My kids are good champs about eating new foods, so I know they'll be all about it. And my husband, he's already dieting, so he's actually ending keto today. He's been on it for 3.5 weeks now, so he's ending it today, and then he's going to do AIP with me just to eat basically paleo. AIP it's almost like the paleo diet, so very similar, but you can't have eggs, dairy, all that stuff. He's going to still have eggs because he really enjoys eggs. But after about 1 month of strict AIP diet, I'm going to start reintroducing some foods. Basically, TMI again, once my poops get more solid, that's when I will start to reintroduce other foods because I'll know that the inflammation is going down, the colon is getting better, which is the main goal, is to have all these things get better. So thank you guys. Thank you for listening to this story. I just wanted you to know what was going on. I want to take you along this journey of healing with me. As a mother, it's not easy to take care of yourself and put yourself first. So this is one of those times that I have to do it. I have to reduce stress, get sleep, eat well, and get this inflammation out of my body so I don't lose my eyesight. I can digest food. I don't lose my colon. And I get these ulcers out of my body because they are not just in my throat. They're all throughout my digestive system. So I got to make sure they all heal. And I do not want to be on medicine the rest of my life. That is the #1 goal. So I'm going to heal myself with food and vitamins and try to go from there. I am on a cortisol steroid right now. I am going to take it for the next few weeks just to make sure I can heal this inflammation that's going on right now. But I never want to get to the point again that I have to take cortisol steroid. So that's where we're at right now, guys. Thank you so much for listening. And like I said, everything is timestamped. So if you want to go back and see any information, you can. And I'll have many more videos to come about this long journey that we are on. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.